Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. It's Alexis Clore. You're welcome here. I invite you to sit and stay if you'd like and get comfy. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to walk through your hardships and how to use it to build yourself up instead of breaking you down. I want to acknowledge that a lot of times the breaking down is the breakthrough, okay? So this video is for people that want to heal, that want to grow, um, and that know that there is effort that you have to put into it, but that also have hope that it's well worth it. And let me tell you, it is so well worth it. I wouldn't be making this video if it wasn't so well worth it, and I want to help other people out there, especially with something that I've totally experienced through my life a lot, and that is a part of my everyday life, truly, that has helped me learn so much about myself and to develop extremely high standards for myself. And that has helped me to really uh, kind of change my approach to things like sadness and anger and, like even judgment and a lot of hurt emotions as well as the positive ones. Okay, so first of all, let me take a look at my notes because I wrote some stuff down to kind of give some direction with this. Okay. So, yeah, again, this video is for people that want to heal. And I also want to say, in saying that this video is for people that know that healing, that you do have to kind of be open and put yourself in the situations to heal. Like it's a you movement. You have to move. You have to work with the healing process for things to heal. So I just want to say, I'm not talking like this is not a 9 to 5 job. This is not like, this is not hard work. It's not, okay? I just want to remind everyone and just kind of state that when I say it means it requires effort. I don't mean like strenuous effort, but we have to take a responsibility and accountability for our own healing, and that's what this video is for, okay? So I think a lot of us have definitely experienced, if not all of us, have definitely experienced something in life that has been maybe really sad or burdening or heavy to carry, um, really maybe disappointing situations, things that just have left us feeling unhappy or disempowered or unsatisfied with our life. I want to let you know that you can do something about it. You can change and rewrite your script. It starts with you, okay? And even more than that, it of course starts with you, but it also starts with being able to acknowledge that unhappiness, that dissatisfaction, that anger, that oh, I already said that. Or, just any emotion that feels really heavy or that feels like something that we just don't want to carry. I'm going to tell you right now, and don't let me speak over your life. Take what resonates and leave what doesn't, but I'm going to tell you right now that if you don't want to carry something and you walk away from it within yourself and you just ignore it and you're like, la-di-do, la-di-da, this doesn't exist, I'm going to tell you it's still going to exist. It's not going to go away on its own, and it might just get quieter. It might just get quieter. It might be like, okay, you don't want to see me? I'll just settle down and float to the bottom, do 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 do. But then that's going to be shaken up again at some point. So what we don't process, what we don't express, it's going to stay. It's going to stay, okay? It's not going to go away on its own. It's not just going to get some legs and walk away. What we don't process is going to stay within us. And so let me tell you the first step to processing, okay? The first step to processing, it's actually pretty simple, but it might be a little bit uncomfortable, and that's okay to feel uncomfortable. The first step is acknowledging what's there. Sometimes it, we just don't want to acknowledge, but maybe subconsciously we're aware of it, but we just haven't expressed what's there. I think sometimes it makes sense. We try to walk away from what's within, thinking that we'll get some type of peace away from it when we do that. And so sometimes we don't even acknowledge, I feel really unhappy, or this job is making me feel really unhappy and unfulfilled. Sometimes subconsciously that might be there, but we just haven't actually really looked at it and honed in on it and said, this is what I'm truly feeling. And maybe that's leaving you feeling, just causing a ripple effect of things. And it can be anything. It can literally be anything. Maybe someone said something that really hurt your feelings, and you feel like insecure, or I don't know, like really just anything that leaves you feeling uncentered or unsatisfied. The first step to going through that is acknowledging. You cannot go through what you don't acknowledge, okay? So I want everyone to have compassion for themselves when they acknowledge it. And look at those feelings of sadness or unsatisfaction as communication. I want you to act like those versions of you are like little kids. I want you to treat them like they're little kids. Imagine a little kid coming up to you and saying that they feel sad or like unhappy because someone's bullying them. You wouldn't be like, oh my God, this is such an inconvenience that you feel sad about this. Like, you wouldn't say that. And I don't want you to say that to yourself either. It is the way that we talk about ourselves and handle our emotions does matter. And I know it's not always the easiest thing, but just practicing that over time and implementing that slowly, it causes a ripple effect of bigger things. And so just take it one grain of salt at a time, and it will start to become more natural to treat your emotions not as inconveniences, but as messengers of maybe poor treatment and or of dysfunction. And when you give those feelings loving attention, and you're like, okay, I'm here with you right now. I'm gonna focus on this with love and compassion because I wanna understand why this is popping up. And if you push it away before you can understand why it's coming up, you're not going to get to the root of it, and the root is still going to be spiking that reaction. So then you go into, why is this coming up? Why do I feel dissatisfied? Why do I feel so unhappy every time that I come home from work? And this answer, and this is just an example, okay? This answer might be different from everybody. But maybe it's because deep down you feel like it's not what you're supposed to be doing. I'm gonna go to my next like little thing. So okay. So I think when you acknowledge it, you let it in. You let it become a part of your awareness, and now it's something that you can help. Look at these emotions as things that you can help. They're not inconveniences, you just haven't learned how to work with them and alchemize them, okay? Look at these emotions as something that you can help. Let the emotions in and let them be seen, because really the sadness, the hurt, it wants to be seen. Don't run away from what's within because it's arising for a reason. I want you to think about this. Our bodies, and this might be like cliche or, like somebody might think that, and that's okay, but are really, really intelligent. And recently I've been learning a lot about this. Like, our bodies is not going to waste energy to create the feeling of anxiety or depression. Those are directly emotional messengers trying to communicate with you, trying to get you to see something. Maybe it could be an injustice happening, or an environment that doesn't serve you, or something like that. The emotions are there for a reason. They're arising for a reason. They want to be seen. They want to be loved. They want a little hug. They want a little hug. A mental hug, an emotional hug, whatever it may be. They just want compassion. They want to be seen. I think sometimes it might be unfair to the sadness that's literally just a normal human emotion, for it to get all this negative backlash of like this, like of negative connotation, when it's just a spectrum of human emotion. And like we're so happy to accept happiness and things like that, which is awesome. And I think it's easier to do that, like reasonably so. Understand that completely. It's very valid. But I think sometimes the sadness shows up because as a way of trying to be alchemized and trying to communicate something. When you work with the sadness, you actually can turn that energy behind the sadness that the sadness is. You can raise that energy. And you can, when you work with the sadness, you can ride on the road to happiness. Usually those sadness or hurt feelings, when you lean into them, it has the direct directions to lead you to happiness, because remember, it's trying to communicate something to you. Okay? It's not showing up for no reason. It's calling for a reason, and it wants you to answer it. And when you answer the call, you realize why it's there. And then, most importantly, you realize what you can do to change it. You can't realize what you can do to change it if you don't realize the data behind it, like why it's showing up, what it's communicating, why it's there. Hold up, I need some water right now. My throat is hurting right now. That was funny. Okay. Okay. Exactly. All right. When you walk through it, you let it be seen. And when you let it be seen, you get to see exactly why it's popping up. And then you get to see exactly what you can do to change that. When you see exactly why it's popping up, you can be like, okay, when people talk to me this way, it makes me feel disrespected. It makes me feel like my worth is being degraded. So now I need to go find people that talk to me this way. Because when I find people that talk to me this way, I'll have the opposite reaction. This is how you use your emotions, the heavier ones, the more dense emotions, to lead you to the light. You learn about them and you see the contrast. Okay, this makes me feel really heavy. This, when you see why it's coming up, you see what is making you feel really heavy. Then the contrast of that, what would make me feel really light? Because now you know this makes you feel really heavy. And now you can experiment. Okay, so logically, rationally, this would make me feel really light. For example, people talking to you disrespectfully or with an undermining tone, or like cutting you off, or like when you're talking, or calling you names. If somebody does that and that makes you feel really disrespected, first of all, you're learning your worth. You're like, okay, I understand that I'm not worthy of this, and you're getting upset about it, reasonably so. And then you can just you can shift that and be like, okay, so now what I've learned from this sadness is that I need to be in rooms that lift me up, that speak life into me, that celebrate me, that don't like undermine me, you know? And when you do that, when you see the emotion, it goes away. It has no more reason to be there, because you answered the call, you heard what it had to say. It doesn't need to call you anymore for that specific reason. So, yeah, That's really how you do it. I feel like, and this is what works for me. This might not work for everyone, and I want you to know that we all have the answers for ourselves within. But maybe this resonated for somebody. But moral of the story, we cannot heal what we don't acknowledge. And also, what I also want you guys to take away from this, if you would like, if it feels right, is that there's so much beauty in sadness. There's so much beauty in hurt. When we learn and we see, when we see why it's coming up, we can learn from it and redirect ourselves into happiness. And this is really cool because a lot of times sadness is actually trying to help you. That hurt is actually trying to help you, and I think it's so valid for it to be scary. Like it's so valid, for those emotions to be scary to like just lean into. Like I completely understand that. I've been there. It is.
And it's really scary at first, but then when you start to lean more into those feelings and you work with them, over time you start to trust yourself to be able to lead yourself back into happiness. And then you also trust more that those emotions aren't coming up to hurt you, that they're coming up to help you.
Trust me. I know that. But it's so worth it because when you lean into it, it no longer has control over you. If you want to express something, you gotta feel it. You gotta let it move through you. You have to move through it to get around it. To actually heal it is to move through it, to release it, not to trap it in your body, not to run the other way from within. You can go through it, and when you go through it, you gain so much beauty, you gain so much insight, you learn so much about yourself, you learn how to protect yourself because you listen to the more dense feelings that are communicating that this treatment, whether it's from others or from yourself, doesn't feel right. This doesn't feel like what I deserve. So then you learn and can start experimenting with what would feel right. And you just can cultivate a relationship from within this way. And I think when we don't sit with the emotions, the denser ones that are arising, whatever the reason might be, we disconnect from certain parts of ourselves. But what if the prize is really to connect, to reconnect with it all, and understand that everything is just energy? Those emotions of sadness are energy. They can be turned, that energy that's fueling the sadness, when you go through it, when you learn from it, when you see it, when you hear it, and learn what it's trying to tell you, that energy around the sadness or whatever dense emotion can actually then be turned and used to dive deeper into self-love or to self-care or happiness or enlightenment. Nothing is like subjective to one certain point, right? Like everything can flow, and yeah. And again, I hope that this helped everyone, and I just want to say, you walk through to break through. You walk through it to break through it. Walking through it is not going to break you, it's going to build you, okay? I hope that this resonated with somebody. And don't worry, I have these conversations with myself all the time. Sometimes I need to remind myself of this. Oh, also, I put my skincare on, so it might look like I'm like a little teary. Nope, I just put my homemade natural remedy skincare on my face. So, but yeah, I've cultivated a relationship with myself where like I feel comfortable with myself, not only when I'm happy but when I'm sad, and I know that I feel like I can rely on myself when I show up and tend to my more heavy parts. And honestly, I want to let you all know, when you really do this in a way that feels right for you, when you really walk through the sadness, when you walk through the hiccups and the speed bumps, I'm going to tell you right now, there's nothing that you can't get through. When you meet what's coming up without bias, when you listen to it, when you learn from it, There's nothing that you can't get through. Nothing's going to keep you down for long because you know how to get through it. You don't avoid it. When you avoid it, it's going to keep trying to bubble up time and time again. When you go through it, you learn why it was there in the first place, and that fuels you, that makes you stronger. But when you leave it there, you're not learning from it. It's going to keep bubbling up. It's going to keep controlling you. It's going to keep, so it's going to sit with you regardless. Do you want it to sit with you in a way that hinders you, that holds you back, that keeps bubbling up, but you keep suppressing it? You're sitting with it anyway. What if you sat with it and heard it and listened to it? And it's going to be uncomfortable, but it's going to get easier. And I just want to remind you again, too, that what you don't express isn't expressed. It's just suppressed for you to express later or never express. But I'm telling you, you're going to be probably a lot more happy if you tend to the sadder parts because you learn so much and you redirect yourself right into happiness. All right, I love you all so much. You know what? I actually feel like I have this card deck right here. If anybody's still here, I'm going to do one and we're going to see. I just intend for clarity for whoever's watching this, or hope, or inspiration, whatever's in the highest good of all. And yeah, okay. All right, let's see. Let's see. Okay. Well, first, speak ups on the back. If anybody's interested, I just feel like I'm gonna do this. Okay. What you are not saying. What are you not? This is so fitting with the. Okay. What are you not saying that's eating you up? You can't keep this in forever. Period. It's time to let it out so we can move on and be happy. You know what's crazy? I was about to be like, I saw this at the bottom and I was like, oh, it's not that one. And then I was like, it's that one. It's this one. What are you not? I'll read this again. Whoever needs to hear it again. This is actually really cool. Thank you, Source. Thank you, Spirit Team. What are you not saying that's eating you up inside? You can't keep this in forever. You can't. It's time to let it out so you can move on and be happy. And that's what you deserve. That's what you deserve. Let it out. Move on so you can be happy. Make friends with it. Learn from it. It's trying to help you, baby. It's trying to help you. Okay? All right, one last one, please. Detach. Detach. This is my last one I'm going to do. I feel like I want to do one more, though. Okay. You're being asked to detach from something that you've been holding on to. When we hold on too tightly to the desired outcome, it restricts the flow. Trust that the outcome will work out and let go of your attachment to it. You're being asked to detach from something that you've been holding on to. When we hold on too tightly to the desired outcome, it restricts the flow. Trust that the outcome will work out and let go of your attachment to it. I don't know if anybody else needs to hear this. You're being asked to detach from something that you've been holding on to. When we hold on too tightly to the desired outcome, it restricts the flow. Trust that the outcome will work out and let go of your attachment to it. Thank you, Source and Spirit. Okay. I feel like I needed to hear that. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm going to do one more because I feel called to it. Okay. It's time. It's time, babe. It's time. You're being asked to move forward toward the dream that you've been carrying in your heart. It's time to bring it out into the world. You're ready. It's time. All right. Well, I'm going to leave it at that. We're leaving it at that. That was actually crazy. I mean, if that wasn't confirmation, I don't know what was. Let me, if you're interested, let me know if the other cards resonated with you. What are you not saying that's eating you up inside? You can't keep this in forever. It's time to let it out so you can move on and be happy. And that might be a little bit uncomfortable, but think about how much lighter you're going to feel, okay? I love you. You can do this, okay? Believe in you. You are worth it. You are worth it. You are worth happiness. You are worth expressing your feelings because when you express it, you become so much more lighter, okay? I love you. I believe in you. I think you're freaking awesome and just who you need to be in your wonderful, beautiful uniqueness. Okay? You are needed here. Don't give up. I love you. And maybe I'll see you in the next video. Bye.